it's me, Raven. Hello, hello. Let's get cozy. Alright, here we are. We're back for some readings. You see all the frogs. We are all here. We saw that last stream, but just for those of us that are new to me. Oh, god damn it! I went to hurt the ads manager. I ran an ad. Don't tell me I didn't and you're about to run an ad. You're bullshit. Don't mind me, just mad at how things work. They're being so mean about it though. I hit the button. You let me run a minute-long ad. This is illegal. Stop. I don't get it. And it's happening less reasonably timed. Used to be that it was like when I didn't reload the thing. When it wanted to be a dick is just all there is. When it wants to be a dick. So we're gonna have to have more ad interruptions this stream. Sorries. It says it'll start in 3, 2, 1, but then there's gonna be a while where it's just ads starting soon. So I don't get to start reading or anything. I'll just say hi to everybody. Hello, people that are here. How sweet of you to give head pats. Hello, Oni, with the little spins. I like the desk chair spin, Tsukiyomi. That one's very silly. I like it a lot. Double firsts. Yes, you got both streams first, Kurt. Very good job. Yeah. I'm pouty. I don't like that they did this. I'm quite disappointed in Twitch that it's not doing the ads right. I do the ad at the start so that we don't get interrupted, and yet we still have this bullshit. The frogs are unimpressed. Okay, it's gonna start. I don't know when. It's still just... Oh, there we go. Now it's going. Okay. Anybody else disappointed? I am. The little on fire. This is fine. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Well, when we're back, we'll say what story we're starting with and the such. But jeez, so mean. I'm gonna get biggered. Hello, I'm closer. Okay. That's there. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Hello. Well, now that we're past the first of the ads being stupid, how about we talk about the first story? We're going to be doing more stories from the Indian Fairy book. So, we're going to pick up from where we left off. And this one is called The Enchanted Moccasins. It looks like it's not going to be very long. So, we'll be running into redeems fairly quick. Oh, darn. I forgot to turn off. I just realized I didn't turn off the origami ones. I'm just gonna hit buttons for a second. But I hope everybody is getting cozy and we're ready to start our stories. Blurp, blurp, blurp. Boop. Only 2 more boops, I promise. And then we'll get started on story. I'll jump right into reading. Okay. Boops are done. Yeah, it's called The Enchanted Moccasins from the Red Fairy book. 59% Riz Divide, alright. But here we go. Ta-da! The Enchanted Moccasins. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? I think I'm gonna move my windows. Hi, Brimo Blade. Hello, hello. Is this a Wizard of Oz type thing? It could be. This is where we find out that the whole story, the whole premise was stolen. Oh boy, oh boy. No, we'll find out. 63% love, Divide. That's better than it could have been, but jeez. Okay. Your numbers were pretty mid today. Dang. Alright. The Enchanted Moccasins. A long, long time ago, a little boy was living with his sister entirely alone in an uninhabited country, far out of the northwest. Far out in the northwest, sorry. So, I don't know if they mean in the northwest of the whole of Turtle Island or what, but maybe. The territory versus the island in general. Okay. Time to grab the red fairy book. No! It's the Indian fairy book. It's not the color series. It's our indigenous stories. Okay. He was called the boy that carries the ball on his back, from an idea that he possessed supernatural powers. Ooh! He got powers. This boy was in the habit of meditating alone and asking within himself whether there were other beings similar to themselves on the earth. Okay, so he's just always daydreaming. What else is there? When he grew up to manhood, he inquired of his sister whether she knew of any human beings besides themselves. She replied that she did, and that there was, at a great distance, a large village. As soon as he heard this, he said to his sister, "I am now a young man, and very much in want of a companion," and he asked his sister to make him several pairs of moccasins. Okay. She complied with his request, and as soon as he received the moccasins, he took up his war club and set out in quest of the distant village. He traveled on till he came to a small wigwam, and on looking into it, he discovered a very old woman sitting alone by the fire. As soon as she saw the stranger, she invited him in, and thus addressed him. "My poor grandchild, I suppose you are one of those who seek for the distant village from which no person has ever yet returned. Unless your guardian is more powerful than the guardians of those who have gone before you, you will share a similar fate to theirs. Be careful to provide yourself with the invisible bones they use in the medicine dance, for without these you cannot succeed." Okay. After she had thus spoken, she gave him the following directions for his journey. "When you come near to the village which you seek, you will see in the center a large lodge in which the chief of the village, who has 2 daughters, resides. Before the door there is a great tree which is smooth and without bark. On this tree, about the height of a man from the ground, is hung a small lodge." Okay, so a little birdhouse in which these 2 false daughters dwell. False? They're not really daughters, or they're little miniatures of them? I don't know what this means. Okay. "It is here that so many have been destroyed, and among them your 2 elder brothers." Did the little dude know he had brothers? Okay. "Be wise, my grandchild, and abide strictly by my directions." We're like 5 paragraphs in, and this is like immediately twisty like our other fairy tales get. What fun. Okay. The old woman then gave to the young man the bones which were to secure his success, and she informed him with great care how he was to proceed. Placing them in his bosom, Ennui, how do we say this one? Bamondang? Okay. Ennui Bamondang. None of these are proper pronunciations, I'm sure. Or the wearer of the ball, continued his journey and kept eagerly on until he arrived at the village of which he was in search. And as he was gazing around him, he saw both the tree and the lodge which the old woman had mentioned. He at once bent his steps for the tree, and approaching, he endeavored to reach the suspended lodge. But all his efforts were in vain, for as often as he attempted to reach it, the tree began to tremble, and it soon shot up so that the lodge could hardly be perceived. Oh, the tree's playing keep away with him, all right. He bethought him of his guardian, and invoking his aid and changing himself into a squirrel, he mounted nimbly up again. My immediate thought is those little, the ways that people try and make braces, traps, and guards for like bird seed, but the squirrels always figure out a way to get to it. Always. And that there's videos of like squirrel Olympics to try and get into the different seeds and nuts and stuff that are supposed to be for the birds. Except, by the time they start making the videos about the squirrels, and well, now it is about for the squirrels, but anyway, I love those. He will make it. It will take a while, but this squirrel is gonna do some parkour and land it. I just know it. Okay, so he's a squirrel. He mounted nimbly up again in the hope that the lodge would not now escape him. Away shot the lodge, climb as briskly as he might. Panting and out of breath, he remembered the instructions of the old woman, and drawing from his bosom one of the bones, he thrust it into the trunk of the tree, and rested himself to be ready to start again. As often as he wearied of climbing, for even a squirrel cannot climb forever, he repeated the little ceremony of the bones. But whenever he came near the lodge and put forth his hand to touch it, the tree would shoot up as before and carry the lodge up far beyond his reach. If he does keep this up, this tree is too big for the world. Like, how much does it jump up? Because squirrels can climb a far, far way. Oh boy. Okay. At length, the bones being all gone and the lodge well nigh out of sight, he began to despair, for the earth too had long since vanished entirely from his view. Just what I was saying. This tree is in the stratosphere. Summoning his whole heart, he resolved to try once more. On and up he went, and as soon as he put forth his hand to touch it, the tree again shook, and away went the lodge. One more endeavor, brave ennui, and in he goes, for having now reached the arch of heaven, he's literally leaving the earth. Oh my gosh. The flyaway lodge could go no higher. Oh my gosh. The squirrel's about to be in space. It's so silly. Okay. Ennui entered the lodge with a fearless step, and he beheld the two wicked sisters. Okay, so he finally got in. My goodness. And they're wicked? What do you mean they're wicked? Okay. Beheld the two wicked sisters sitting opposite each other. He asked their names. The one on his left hand called herself Ashabi, and the one on the right, stay still, Neganabi. Okay. Ashabi, Neganabi. After talking with them a little while, he discovered that whenever he addressed the one on his left hand, the tree would tremble as before and settle down into its former place, but when he addressed the one on his right hand, it would again shoot upward. Okay. Hasabi brings the little lodge down, Naganabi up. When he thus perceived that by addressing the one on his left hand, the tree would descend, he continued to do so until it had again settled down to its place near the earth. Then, seizing his war club, he said to the sisters, "You who have caused the death of so many of my brethren, I will now put an end to, and thus have revenge for those you have destroyed." As he spoke this, he raised his club, and with one blow laid the two wicked women dead at his feet. Oh boy, okay. When did they attack him? When did the other people get killed? Okay. But okay, I guess they're wicked. How would they killed the other people, like his brothers? I don't know. Ennui then descended, and learning that these sisters had a brother living with their father who had shared altogether in the spoils of all such as the wicked sisters had betrayed, and who would now pursue him for having put an end to their wicked profits, Ennui set off at random, not knowing whither he went. Okay, so he just shows up. Hey, you killed my brothers and other people. Kills them. And when they're supposedly in cahoots with a brother, oh shit, brother's gonna come after me, I better run. Just immediately, blindly. The father coming in the evening to visit the lodge of his daughters, discovered what had happened. He immediately sent word to his son that his sisters had been slain, and that there were no more spoils to be had. Is he still a squirrel? Was he a squirrel when he was in the lodge with the girls? Was this a little squirrel with a war club? Did the war club get small too? Sorry. My brain is just kind of on that gear to just totally see all the very specifics. Okay. Meaning somewhere to his son and sisters had been slain, and that there were no more spoils to be had, which greatly inflamed the young man's temper, especially the woeful announcement at the close. Okay, so the biggest reason he got mad was because there was no more spoils to be had. So he was upset about his sisters, and so there's no more spoils. There's no more spoils? Okay. The person who has done this, said the brother, as soon as he had reached the spot, chafing and half beside himself at the gloomy prospect of having no more travelers to strip, must be that boy who carries the ball on his back. I know his mode of going about his business, and since he would not allow himself to be killed by my sisters, he shall have the honor of dying by my hand. I will pursue him and have revenge. How do you know who this was? What clues were there? What? How do we know it's that guy? Okay, anyway, I feel like we're missing half of this. Speaking of squirrels, fun fact, they don't take fall damage in real life. They take very little, yeah, because they do the good spinny spins, right? And this was part of the Squirrel Olympics videos I saw. They are very good at spotting and regulating which way is up and then being able to land on their feet. Cats do too, but squirrels are better at it because they have to do it way more. Anyway, okay. The brother is going after. Yeah, I was doing well. Oh well. The brother is going after the younger boy. Okay, doke. Oh wow. Oops. Model is jumping everywhere. All right. So he's gonna go and get them. And it is well, my son, replied the father. The spirit of your life grant you success. Okay, the spirit of your life grant you success. I don't know how to take that. It just feels like word soup. Anyway, I counsel you to be wary in the pursuit. Bamondang is a cunning youth. How do you know him? But okay. Yep, also their low mass and small size, they can literally survive a fall at their terminal velocity. So this guy could fall from the heavens. I don't know why you needed the tree to get back to small. You could have just jumped. Go, little squirrel, go. Obviously not. That very physically, no. He could. That would no. But anyway, still silly to think. Just imagining this squirrel not bothering with talking with them, just immediately killing them, and then jumping from, like the height where you're officially entering space, but you're not quite in space, that height. The squirrel jumps, and then just freebird playing. It's not a flying squirrel, but it's a flying squirrel. Okay, anyway. I don't know how the brother and father know this guy or how they know anything about him, but apparently everybody knows him, even though he was like, do other people even exist? Yes, and they know everything about you, small boy. Anyway, okay. I counsel you to be wary, the father is saying. I counsel you to be wary in the pursuit. Mamondang is a cunning youth. It is a strong spirit who has put him on to do this injury to us, and he will try to deceive you in every way. Above all, avoid tasting food till you succeed. Are we implying he'll poison it? What? For if you break your fast before you see his blood, your power will be destroyed. Okay, the idea that he's getting power from fasting. All right. Interesting theory. The son took this fatherly advice all in good part, except that portion which enjoined upon him to abstain from staying his stomach. Abstain from staying his stomach. Isn't that a double negative? No? Okay. Anyway, it sounds like he didn't listen to you should be fasting and it will give you power is what I think he didn't listen to that, but I don't know. But over that he made a number of wry faces, for the brother of the two wicked sisters had, among numerous noble gifts, a very noble appetite. Yeah, so he was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm very hungry, always. Nevertheless, he took up his weapons and departed in pursuit of Ennui Bamondang at the top of his speed. Ennui, finding that he was closely followed. How was that closely followed? Maybe because he's still in squirrel mode and they're in human mode and they've got long legs? I don't know. Okay. Climbed up into one of the tallest trees. Yeah, that sounds like he's in squirrel mode. And shot forth the magic arrows which he had provided himself. When did he get magic arrows? This feels very much like I'm missing the majority of the context. But okay. Seeing that his pursuer was not turned back by his arrows, Ennui renewed his flight, and when he found himself hard pressed and his enemy close behind him, he transformed himself into the skeleton of a moose, not a moose, the skeleton of a moose that had been killed, whose flesh had come off from his bones. The way they word this doesn't sound like there was no more flesh. It sounds like the flesh was hanging off. Sounds like this little boy who, no context, is called the boy with the ball on his back, transforms into squirrel, is running around, did not transform back into human, even though that would have been helpful, and then now is like, okay, I'm going to turn into an eldritch horror. Go. What? Hello, DJ. I'm just confused at this bit, and I have to... Oh my gosh. Why the skeleton of a moose? Why? Why do you have to word it skeleton of a moose whose flesh come off from his bones? Because it sounds like... When you said skeleton, that says no flesh. When you say now that it's specific information about the flesh, it sounds like what you mean is that it's in the process of falling off, maybe. And I don't like it. How am I? Confused. Uncomfy, but intrigued. Weird little piece to this. Okay. Alright. He then remembered the moccasins which his sister had given him, and which were enchanted. All of the pairs of them? How many did you have? Taking a pair of them, he placed them near the skeleton. He is the skeleton, is he not? What? I'm so confused. Oh my gosh. What? Is he not actually the skeleton? What do you mean place them near the what? There should just be the one. That's a new redeem for here. Because there was the ones from Vi that I have paused. I cannot do. And I tried to do heartbeats here, but it's not quite. Still very quiet, and if I do it, you'll hear the fan sounds and stuff just as much as the heartbeats. It's a little annoying. Anyway, I'm very confused. Okay, but he puts them near the skeleton, and then he says, "Go, go," he said to them, "to the end of the earth." The moccasins then left him, and their tracks remained. Oh, okay, so one pair of moccasins, but he has many pairs. I don't know I forget how many pairs his sister made him. We can scroll back. Make him several, just several. That's all. I had just as much information as there was. I completely remembered. Okay. The moccasins left him, and their tracks remained. The angry brother at length came to the skeleton of the moose, which is our guy. I'm pretty sure. And maybe he's just like laying on the ground. Yeah, that's it. That's it. The water jar. Okay. Maybe he's just laying on the ground pretending to be a rotten skeleton, rotten carcass. What fun. Oh my gosh. But what a time. Oh my gosh, this guy. Thank you for the follow. Ooh, how do you say your name? Rogrildon? Rogrildon. Please tell me if I'm saying it wrong. I very much try to do better. But since Roa Greldon, is that how we say? We have a tradition to drop some dance emotes. So here's some silly little dances. My 7 TV party parrot. I like that guy. I don't know. It's fun. But welcome in, Roa. Thanks for joining us. I am gonna pick back up in my story, and then redeems are after the story's ended, before the next story. But here we go. Okay, so yes, he's transformed into a skeleton, and he sat and he sent the moccasins off. The other guy showed up. The angry brother at length came to the skeleton of the moose. When he perceived that the track he had been long pursuing did not stop there, did not stop there, so he continued to follow it up till he arrived at the end of the earth, where, for all his trouble, he found only a pair of moccasins. Vexed that he had been outwitted by following a pair of moccasins instead of their owner, how did he know? How didn't he think, like, oh no, he jumped off the edge of the earth and left his moccasins behind? Like, I don't know, maybe that's it. Dude, how did you... Okay. Vexed he had been outwitted, following the moccasins instead of their owner, who was the object of his pursuit. Jeez, Raven, talk. He bitterly complained, resolving not to give up his revenge and to be more wary in scrutinizing signs. Ooh, okay. But you had been following the tracks the whole time. How did you know? He then called to mind the skeleton he had met with on his way and concluded that it must be the object of his search. How did you know that it was the skeleton? Did you not see anything else the whole time? He was literally a squirrel. How are you keeping track? Oh my gosh. Okay. These people just all have impeccable intuition, I think. Okay. He retraced his steps toward the skeleton, but to his surprise, it had disappeared. How is it to your surprise if you thought that was the person? Of course, if it's the person that got up and left. Oh my gosh. Okay. And the tracks of the wearer of the ball were in another direction. He now became faint with hunger and lost heart, but when he remembered the blood of his sisters, and that he should not be allowed to enjoy a meal, nor so much as a mouthful, until he had put an end to ennui babonding, he plucked up his spirits and determined again to pursue. Oh, so he is listening to the instructions. I thought he was disregarding that. Okay. But alright, he's off again. Who are we rooting for at this point? I can't even tell. Okay. Ennui, finding that he was closely followed, and that the hungry brother was approaching very fast, changed himself into a very old man with 2 daughters. How did you get 2 daughters out of it, too? Oh my gosh. It's a name in Spanish. Oh. Well, does that mean like it translates to something else, or it's just a common name? It's easier to just say Roa. Well, I very much like to try and learn the pronunciation if you want to guide me, but it's very difficult over text, so I understand. Whatever you would prefer. I always say the full name whenever somebody first joins, and then I'm happy to call nicknames and such, but I try and say the full name. Just kind of usually how I go. with a new follow. And where was I? Oh no. All right, he's an old man and 2 daughters somehow. Okay. And living in a large lodge in the center of a beautiful garden. Did you also make up the garden, the lodge? Like, how much of this is your illusion? We know that he has supernatural powers. In half of these stories, it's like unexplained supernatural powers just to everybody. Nobody is normal. Everybody has abilities. But it's like, how, what is the extent? How do you do this? What how much is supposed to be expected? I'm getting so lost. But okay. He is an old man with 2 daughters living in a large lodge in the center of a beautiful garden, which was filled with everything that could delight the eye or was pleasant to the taste. He made himself appear so very old as to be unable to leave his lodge and to require his daughters to bring him food and wait on him, as though he had been a mere child. How did you pull that off? Okay. The garden also had the appearance of old age, with its ancient bushes and hanging branches and decrepit vines loitering lazily about in the sun. Everything in his illusion? Yes, it appears so. I just don't know how he's getting away with that. When the brother shows up, is he going to be able to touch everything, break things, eat things? Like, how? What is how? Okay. Don't mind me just questioning the physics of this world just a little bit. I'm going off on the little tangents and everything. It's just the level of brain I'm at right now. I want to argue with stories. That's where my brain is. Oh no. Okay. The brother kept on until he was nearly starved and ready to sink to the earth. He exclaimed with a long drawn and most mournful sigh, "Oh, I will forget the blood of my sisters, for I am starving. Oh, oh." But again he thought of the blood of his sisters, and what a fine appetite he would have if he should never be allowed to eat anything again, and once more he resolved to pursue, and to be content with nothing short of the amplest revenge. Okay. He's still following the rules for that. I don't know how. He pushed on till he came to the beautiful garden. He advanced towards the lodge. As soon as the fairy daughters perceived him, they ran and told their father that a stranger approached. If he is the daughters and the daughters are him, how did they... They wouldn't need to run and tell him. And then oh my gosh. He wouldn't have to tell them to invite them in. He is them. And the dude isn't in the room. You don't need to do... Oh my gosh. I think this little boy created people. I don't think he's creating an illusion. I think he created people, which is amazing. But, like, there's a difference. Story. There's a difference. Okay. They perceived him, and they ran and told their father that a stranger approached. Their father replied, "Invite him in, my children, invite him in." "You're not their father. You're a little boy. And a squirrel. And a moose skeleton, but you're not actually their father." I mean, well, actually, no. He created them. Okay, anyway. They did so promptly, and by the command of their father, they boiled some corn and prepared several other palatable dishes. The savor was most delicious to the nostrils of the hungry brother, who had not the least suspicion of the sport that was going on at his expense. Okay. So they're preparing a meal. That's a trick. How they got the food to just grow? Magic. Everything's just, I did it. Ha. Okay, fine. But they're tricking the brother. All right. Everything is an illusion. So tired, but must stay awake. No, you can eat. It's okay to go eat. It's good to look after yourself. I would prefer you look after yourself. Don't hurt self for watch. There will be VODs. It's okay, DJ. Go eat if you must eat. he was faint and weary with travel, and he felt that he could endure fasting no longer, for his appetite was terribly inflamed by the sight of the choice food that was steaming before him. Not the smell? Interesting. Okay. He fell to and partook heavily of the meal. Why? No. So I guess, yes, he does eventually not. I think the story before was like he didn't plan to fail. Like the way it was written was like, oh, he totally disregarded it. I think they meant like, and he will eventually disregard it, or I don't know. Anyway, okay. He fell to, partook heavily of the meal, and by so doing he was overcome and lost his right of revenge. His right of revenge? Are you saying that, like, legally he could no longer kill the dude? Or, like, oh, all at once he forgot the blood of his sisters, so he did just, like, get over it. That's what they mean. Because it sounds like, oh, if you're gonna do revenge, you can't eat. If you're gonna do revenge, you're only allowed to do it if you haven't eaten since the murder. I don't know. Oh, I'm so sorry, DJ. Let's give some hugs. Let's give hug. Let's give hug. Yeah, I bet that's tough to sleep with. Sorry to hear it. I hope peoples, let's send some love DJ's way. I hope it goes well. I hope things are sorted and people heal up. I'm sorry about that. And hopefully I'm a good little place to be cozy and not think about it too much for right now, at least. So that your brain can rest for a minute, at least. Something. Alright. Thank you, Natsu. Thank you, Cage. Thank you guys for sending in the hugs. Alright. So he's eating, he's all at once forgot the blood of his sisters, and even the village of his nativity, and his father's lodge, and his whole past life. What do you mean past life? Do you mean this life? Do you mean he's suddenly begun a new life now in this lodge? Okay. He ate so keenly and came and went to the choice dishes so often that drowsiness at length overpowered him, and he soon fell into a profound sleep. Oh, now he's eepy. Okay. Ennui Bamondang watched his opportunity, and as soon as he saw that the false brother's sleep was sound, he resumed his youthful form and sent off the two fairy daughters and the old garden, and drawing the magic ball from his back. So he is really carrying a magic ball on him. Okay. And the daughters were fairies? Did he actually sire fairy daughters, or he just created them? And he sent off the garden? Does that mean the garden grew legs and walked away? Like, physically, I'm... What? Okay. And then he pulled a ball from his back, which turned out to be a great war club. He fetched the slumbering brother a mighty blow. He fetched the brother a blow and sent him away too. Sent him away. Fetched him a blow. Caught him a hit, is what it sounds like. What do you mean you... Okay. And then sent him away? Do you mean murdered him? I don't... What? Okay. Alright, anyway. I guess the point is we don't gotta worry about that. Alright, fine. And thus did Ennui Bamondang vindicate his title as the wearer of the ball. What do you mean vindicate? Was wearer of the ball like a scarlet A? Like, what do you mean? Vindicate? What? I'm so lost. It's the only thing that has gotten me to ease up a little. Thank you, everybody. Aw, I'm glad. Okay. Hello, Raven Chan. How are you doing this evening? I think the SCP universe is dark. Then you should look into the Warhammer 40k universe. It's way worse. It's not about things being dark that I don't like about SCP. It's that I don't like the structure of the government. And it's a great story. It is. It's a great framing device. But if I ever actually encountered them, God, I would hate them. Just like I hate many things here. Not at Emerald Lake. This is a nice place. It came with some bad things. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to see the story, hear the story. Oh, and DJ. Okay. It is good to cry. Go cry. Take care. We'll be here to be cozy when you want. We're here when you need. Well, my VODs are always there when you need, and I will hopefully be live when you need, but we'll see. Discord. Anyway, okay. He's vindicated his title as the wearer of the ball. Yes, all right. When ennui swung around with the great force and weight of the club with which he had dispatched the brother, so he dispatched the brother. Okay, yeah, the brother's dead. All right. Of the two wicked women, he found himself in a large village. Okay, so he killed the brother and then he swings the club again, and now he's just in a different place. This is a hell of a magic ball / club. Gosh, okay. In a large village, surrounded by a great crowd of people. He did want to meet the people, okay. At the door of a beautiful lodge stood his sister, smiling and ready to invite him in. Hey, that's lovely. Ennui entered, and hanging up his war club and the enchanted moccasins, which he had recovered. I thought he had many moccasins. He didn't need to recover the one pair, but okay. He rested from his labors and smoked his evening pipe with the admiration and approval of the whole world, with one exception only. Ennui Bamondang had the hearty praises of all the people. Okay, so someone is not impressed. People are literally being slaughtered all the time in 40k universe. All the xenophobia is a big thing. Yeah. Warhammer, it does imply lots of war, and that does somewhat imply us versus them thinking, which is a big xenophobic root. So I'm not surprised. It's the the SCP Foundation thinks and tells themselves and tells others that they are helping because they are protecting, and they're not. They are imprisoning and using and abusing. If they just outright murdered would be better, but they twist situations so that torture and prolonged pain is involved and mental anguish. That's the real one. and all under the disguise of, but we're doing the good. No, you are not. Okay. So Ennui has everybody cheering his names except for one, but we don't know who yet. Now it happened that there lived in this same village an envious and boastful fellow, I'm going to guess that this is them, who had once been a chief. But coming home always badly whipped, he was put out of office. So every time he left, he came back whipped. What? Okay, he was put out of office, he's no longer chief, and now spent his time about the place mainly in proclaiming certain great things which he had in his eye and which he meant to do one of these days. Okay, so all he does is saying what he would do, what he wants to do, but not what he has done. This man's name was Coco the Owl, and hearing much of the wonderful achievements of the wearer of the ball, Coco put on a big look and announced that he was going to do something extraordinary himself. Okay, so this is the one guy not cheering for him. He's like, well, I can do better. Ennui Bamondang, he said, had not half done his work, and he, Coco, meant to go on the ground and finish it up as it should be. All right, go. Get lost and go doing it. He began by procuring an oak ball, which he thrust down his back, and confident in its magical. What do you mean down his back? Like under his skin? When they say carried a ball, do they mean like a hunchback? This is a whole other level to that. Oh, that's humanity though? Natsu, it's not all humanity. Decidedly not all of humanity. It is one of the tendencies, as is the xenophobia and slaughtering. But I would say it is more insidious to masquerade as good, fully aware that you are not. The O5 Council, namely. The lesser, researchers and stuff, they're people that drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak, so they're not the ones saying it. They're under the guise that it's probably still good, but then, they learn. But anyway. And my big thing, the Class D people. Doing that. Okay. He began by procuring the oak ball, which he thrust down his back, whatever that means. Maybe strapped to his back, maybe under his skin, maybe I don't know. And confident in its magical powers, he too called himself the wearer of the ball. In fact, it was the self same ball that Ennui had employed. Was his ball oak too? Anyway, okay. Except that the magic had entirely gone out of it. Oh no. I was going to say he's confident in its magical powers. Why is he confident? Why are they telling us he's confident and not just that it has magical powers? Oh boy, okay. So now he's got a ball that has no powers. Coming by night in the shadow of the lodge, he thrust his arm in at the door and stealthily possessed himself of the enchanted moccasins. He would have taken away Ennui's war club, too, if he could have carried it, but although he was twice the size and girth of Ennui, he had not the strength to lift it. So he borrowed a club from an old chief who was Purblind. Purblind? Purblind? I think they just mean blind, but okay. And mistook Coco for his brother, who was a brave man. Oh, maybe like partially blind? Anyway. Mistook Coco for his brother, who was a brave man, and raising a terrible tumult with his voice and a great dust with his heels, Coco set out. So you tricked an old man who was half blind, or fully blind, and stole some shoes. All right, here we go. He had traveled all day when he came to a small wigwam, and on looking into it, he discovered a very old woman sitting alone by the fire, just as Ennui had before. Okay, is this the same guy? This is the wigwam, said Coco, and this is the old woman. Well, what if it's not? What if it's a different old lady? What are you looking for? Asked the old woman. I want to find the lodge with the wicked young women in it who slay travelers and steal their trappings, answered Coco. You mean the two young women who lived in the flying lodge, said the old woman. The same, answered Coco. I am going to kill them. They're already dead, dude. With this, he gave a great flourish. I'm going to kill them, strikes a pose. He gave a great flourish with his borrowed club and looked desperate and murderous as he could. Yeah, literally, he's like, I will pose. Oh my god. Okay, the first half of the story gave one energy that was confusing, and now the second half is just all too relatable to, like, I can see this too directly literal with humanity. Okay. He says, I'm going to kill them, and strikes a pose. Sorry. Oh my gosh. They were slain yesterday by the wearer of the ball, said the old woman. Coco looked around for the door in a very owlish way. He is an owl. I believe we did. His name is Coco the Owl. Is he literally an owl? Anyway. But he looked around in an owlish way, and heaving a short hem from his chest, He acknowledged that he had heard something to that effect down in one of the villages. You were literally there when he claimed that. You have no reason. Stop being a dumbass. Okay. But there's the brother. I'll have a chance at him, said Coco. He is dead too, said the old woman. Is there nobody then left for me to kill? Cried Coco. Must I then go back without any blood upon my hands? This sounds so stupid to me. You mean I can't go murdering? What? Okay. He made as if he could shed tears over this sad mishap. He's crying about it when he knew this. Ennui literally just came back and everybody was saying all this. You know this, Coco. Coco, no. Why are you crying over this? Did you literally already forget? Did you misunderstand? Did you just not listen at all? Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello, Tetra. Welcome in. No, you're not late. We don't keep attendance. And hi, DJ. You're back. Glad you're back. More cry frog again, no. I am not going to be very good at helping at this. I just want to keep reading and hopefully we will be cozy and good. My heart is breaking for you, but I don't know what to say. Because this is meant to stay cozy for everybody. I will keep reading. But, mayhaps somebody can chat. I hope you have somebody that you can chat with. And maybe there's more people that can give the uplifting messages and the such. Okay. Oh, I'm glad. Ugh. Okay. Alright. Alright, dumbass Coco. Okay. Ugh. My headphones are sitting kind of funny and making my ears hurt a little bit. I'm just adjusting. Is there anybody else for me to kill? And he's about to cry. The father is still living, and you will find him in the lodge if you have a mind to call on him. He would like to see the owl, the old woman added. He wants to see the owl? Why does he want to see an owl? What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh gosh, okay. What is Coco walking into? Alright. He shall, replied Coco. Lovely. Have you any bones about the house? For I suppose I shall have to climb that tree. Okay, so you listened well enough to know that you need the bones to climb the tree. But you did not listen well enough to know that everybody died? No. No? Okay. I feel like the headline of the story was, Little Dude kills the evil people. How did you miss this? No, DJ, we get it. My brain is not in a space where I am able to say the right and supportive things very easily. My brain's in 5 places today. And none of them are that place. So we're happy to have you here as long as we don't, I don't want to say as long as we don't have to do much, but that's kind of it, because we don't know what we're doing. But we're here to just give you the hug and give you the support and the company, and I do know that that's usually the biggest thing for me. So yeah. Okay. No, it's not trouble. I just don't know what. Okay, go ahead and lurk if you do want to. Alright, okay. Oh yes, he shall, replied Coco. Have you any bones to climb the tree? Oh yes, plenty, answered the old woman. You can have as many as you want. And she gave him a handful of fish bones, which Coco, taking them to be the invisible tallies which had helped Ennui Bamondang in climbing the magical tree, thrust into his bosom. So these are not magical either, and he's assuming that they are. But he did say, I suppose I'll have to climb the tree. The old woman didn't say these are going to be for the tree. It's very much reading as this guy's about to do something, assuming he'll be able to do magical things, and he won't, and he's going to die a terrible, sad death. But you can't tell. It just Okay. Thank you, said Coco, taking up his club and striding toward the door. Will you not have a little advice? Said the old woman. This is a dangerous business you are going on. Coco turned about and laughed to scorn the proposal. Okay, he deserves it. Do you want advice? This is very dangerous. This is the woman for the advice, and you literally just came to grab bones? That's it? Okay. He really did only half listen to this story and make up his own understanding of these things. Oh my gosh. Okay. Laughed at the proposals and putting forth his right foot from the lodge first, an observance in which he had great hopes, he started for the lodge of the wicked father. Why does it matter which foot he started with? The details in this story, they hit me out of nowhere. What do you mean the flesh was falling off? Or the flesh had fallen off? That's what skeleton means. What do you mean, right foot? What do you mean he's an owlish looking around? He is an owl, isn't he? Oh my gosh, what is happening? Oh my gosh, okay. He started off for the lodge of the wicked father. Coco ran very fast, as if he feared he should lose the chance of massacring any member of the wicked family until he came in sight of the lodge hanging upon the tree. Well, he did. he did almost lose any chance, so I mean that's fair. He then slackened his pace and crept forward with a wary eye lest somebody might chance to be looking out at the door. Okay, so now he's like, wait, okay. Now we gotta go sneaky mode. They could see me. Gotta be careful. You're an owl. Why don't you just fly up? Okay. All was, however, still up there, and Coco clasped the tree and began to climb. Are you human or are you bird? Can you not fly? Anyway. Away went the lodge, and up went Coco, puffing and panting after it. And it was not a great while before the owl had puffed and panted all the wind he had to spare, and yet the lodge kept flying aloft higher, higher. What was to be done? Coco, of course, bethought him of the bones, for that was just what, as he knew, had occurred to Ennui Bamondang under the like circumstances. He had the bones in his bosom, and now it was necessary for him to be a squirrel. Okay, then. He immediately called on several guardian spirits whom he knew of by name and requested them to convert him into a squirrel. But not one of all them seemed to pay the slightest attention to his request, for there he hung, the same heavy-limbed, big-headed, beclubbed and beblanketed Coco as ever. Beclubbed and beblanketed? What? Okay. So he's not changing. He doesn't have the magic. He's not changing. Okay, DJ. Well, take care. We're sending all the hugs and the loves. Even if I can't do words tonight. Yeah, I hope everybody's healing up and everything goes well. It's about all I can do from this distance and inabilities. But we're going to be cozy whenever you need us. Alright. Thank you. Keep well. Alright. Yes, he's still Coco as ever. He is not squirrel. He then desired that they would turn him into an opossum. You think it's just that they don't know how to do squirrel or something? Okay. An application which met the same luck as the previous one. Yeah. After this, he petitioned to be a wolf. A wolf? A gopher. This is spelled Gopphir. Weird spelling of gopher, or it's something I don't know. A dog or a bear, if they would be so obliging. I would have gone cat before dog. Can dog climb? Can wolf climb? Anyway, the guardian spirits were either all deaf or indifferent to his wishes, or absent on some other business. I think they are absent because you don't have the magic, but okay. Coco, in spite of all his begging and supplication and beseeching, was obliged to still be Coco. The bones, however, he said to himself, are good. I shall get a nice rest at any rate if I am forced to climb as I am. But they're fish bones, and he's going to break and fall, isn't he? With this he drew out one of the bones from his bosom, and shouting aloud, "Ho ho! Who is there?" He thrust. Why do you have to say "ho ho"? Who is there? What? This guy is so weird. Coco, what the hell are you? He thrust it into the trunk of the tree, and would have indulged himself in a rest, but being no more than a common fish bone, without the slightest savor of magic in it, it snapped with Coco, who came tumbling down. Came tumbling down with the door of the lodge, which he had shaken loose, rattling after him. When did he shake the door loose? Okay. So he falls, and then the door follows after. I'm seeing this man fall. He didn't get to stratosphere. This was the first break. This is the first bone. So this is, I'm guessing, like it's a couple stories up. It's just a couple stories up. And he's not a squirrel yet, actually. So maybe it's even further because he was a person and or an owl at this point. I don't know. A couple stories up. 3, 4. And he falls, and this door comes falling after him. Is the lodge still small? Is it a tiny door or is it a big door? Because I'm imagining the door is as big as he is, however big he happens to be at the time. So just splat, and then thunk. Okay. Dora came rattling down after him. "Ho ho! Who is there?" cried the wicked father, making his appearance at the opening and looking down. Now you realize you've lost your door? Okay. Oh, sorry, the yawns. Okay. Oh no. "It is I, Ennui Bamondang," cried Kokoor. Now his name is Kokoor, K-O-K-O-O-R, before it was just K-O-K-O. Maybe it's like Bob and Robert. It's just the longer version. I don't know. Okay. But now he's saying his Bamondang because he's a dumbass. "Ah, it is you, is it? I will be there presently," called the old man. "Do not be in haste to go away." If this kid has shown up after he's killed everybody else, I don't think he's leaving till he's killed you, old man. He's not in any rush. Coco, observing that the old man was in earnest, scrambled up from the ground and set off promptly at his highest rate of speed. Oh boy. Sorry, the yawns. Okay, so the little lodge is coming down, and Coco's going up. When he looked back and saw that the wicked father was gaining upon him... Wait, what? No. Oh my gosh. They mean... Coco's on the ground. Says he's ennui. Old man says, "Oh, you are? Well, then I'm coming after you." And Coco says, "Wait, really?" And then runs away. And old man is following him, and they're running away. Because Coco, observing old man is in earnest, scrambled up from the ground and set off promptly at his highest rate of speed. When he looked back and saw that the wicked father was gaining upon him, Kokoor mounted a tree. So he's running from the man now, despite him being here to kill him. But okay. He mounted a tree, as had Ennui Bamondang before, and fired off a number of arrows. But as they were no more than common arrows, he got nothing by it, but was obliged to descend and run again for life. As he hurried on, he encountered the skeleton of a moose, into which he would have transformed himself, but not having the slightest confidence in any of all the guardians who should have helped him, he passed on. Well, yeah. Because they're not going to. Because you don't have the magic ball. Or at least the ball isn't magic anymore, I mean. The wicked father was hot in pursuit, and Kakor was suffering terribly for lack of wind, when luckily he remembered the enchanted moccasins. He could not send them to the end of the earth, as had Onwee Bamandang. I will improve on that dull fellow. Oh, goodness, said Coco. I will put them on myself. Oh, no. Go now, cried Coco, giving orders to the enchanted moccasins, and go they did. But to the astonishment of the owl, they turned immediately about in the way in which the wicked father, now very furious, was approaching. The other way, cried Coco. Cry as loud as he would, the enchanted moccasins would keep on in their own course, and before he could shake himself out of them, they had run him directly into the face of the wicked father. What do you mean, you owl? Cried the wicked father, falling upon Coco with a huge club, and counting his ribs at every stroke. Oh my god. Does that mean he can literally see his ribs when he hits him? I don't know what that means. Oh my gosh. Okay. I cannot help it, good man, answered Coco. I tried my best. And then he's interrupted. Coco would have gone the other way, but the enchanted moccasins kept hurrying him forward. Stand off, will you? Cried the old man. It did say he ran into the face, so I feel like they literally headbutted, and then the man hit him a couple times, and then the man's like stepped back, but the moccasins are still just running directly into the old man. He takes a step back, and it's just into his face, and because it's face to face, I'm like... Is Coco's moccasins making him kiss an old man? Or just headbutt? Just headbutt? I don't know. Okay. Tried your best. Stand off, will you? Cried the old man. By this time, allowing the wicked father chance to bestow no more than 25 more blows upon Coco. So there was already a couple that he threw in, but now 25 more. The moccasins were taking him past. Stop, cried the old man again. You are running away. Ho, ho, you are a coward. So finally the moccasins are letting him go. I feel like the moccasins are making him go in a specific direction, and he's not paying attention to that. And the old man at first was just like stepping backward, but now he's also stepping to the side. That's what I'm envisioning. I don't know. And so now he's finally getting away. I am not, good man. He's not a coward, answered Coco, carried away by the magical shoes. I assure you. Because he literally can't choose where to go. But ere he could finish his avowal... Do they mean before? Anyway, the moccasins had hurried him out of sight. At any rate, I shall soon be home at this speed, said Kakor to himself. Oh no. I'm guessing they are not taking him home. The moccasins seem to know his thoughts. Oh no. Okay, so they're just directly... The moccasins are just saying, fuck you, you're not our dad. That's what they're doing, because... Oh my gosh. For just then they gave a sudden leap, slipped away from his feet, and left the owl flat upon his back, while they glided home by themselves to the lodge of Onwee Babondang, where they belonged. So they specifically disobeyed him is what they did. And then they were like, that's enough. And then he was like, at least I'm going home. And they're like hell you are. Get away from me. Stranger danger. What the hell? This is a very weird, silly story, and I'm liking it a lot. A party of hunters passing that way after several days found Coco sitting among the bushes. Several days? He's just still sitting there? Oh my gosh. Looking greatly bewildered, and when they inquired of him how he had succeeded with the wicked father at the lodge, he answered that he had demolished the whole establishment. But that his name was not Coco, but Onwee Bamondang, saying which he ran away into the woods and was never seen more. How did the hunters know who he was? For him to correct them on his name?
he certainly did not destroy the lodge. The man must be somewhere. What do you mean they inquired how he had succeeded? The father just stepped aside when the guy ran away. The father's not gone. And then he's just like, no, I'm on Wee Bamondeg, and runs away into the woods to disappear. Okay, fine. Wild. Okay. Wild hour-long story with lots of Raven interjections. I'm sorry. I have an ad I'm about to run. I'll do a 1 minute so that we last until 2 a.m. when our stream ends. But here we go. Here's an ad, and then I'll do my redeems. So it's redeems next. And ad is running. Wow, okay. Singing bowl, water jar, keys, page flipping. Heckin' yes, let's go. Let's prep the things. Water jar is up first. Yes. No, singing bowl is up first. Come on, Raven, you know this. You know this. Slowly, Raven types with one hand. Alright. And the singing bowl is out. I haven't done singing bowl with the new mic. I assume it won't sound much different, but it could. I don't know. Adjusting. What's the next story gonna be? Let's see what the next story is gonna be. After the magic of the Enchanted Moccasins, it's He of the Little Shell. Is this gonna be about a snail? Is this gonna be a snail story? Oh my gosh. He of the Little Shell. That's the next story. He of the Little Shell. Hi, Darkstorm. Welcome. Come in and get cozy. I've got redeems up right now, but I was just looking at what the next story is going to be. So let's get you seeing. Okay. Alright, it's singing bowl time. Here we go. Oh my gosh, let's move. Let's adjust. Okay. It's trying to go the other direction and my wrist is not cooperating. Can't go the other way. Alright, there is our singing bowl. And now we will do water jar. It is time. Silly little water jar. Come back from the other one. I didn't update how much water was in it. Maybe I should try it with more water or less water. But it was leaking. So maybe I don't trust it. Maybe I need to get a different jar entirely. Alright. Don't embarrass me. Okay, here we go. Water jar.
I was playing with a little extra long there. Doesn't sound all that different from like mouth pops, but it's a little bit different. The one at Vi's place, I think because it's smaller in the way that the water was moving when I would use it, it ended up sounding kind of like there was a theremin at the end of it was like pow wow wow. Instead of just a pop, it would go pow wow wow wow. So I think I gotta try with a smaller jar. I'll have to find. I will figure it out at some point. Okay. I thank you for the hydrate. Let's grab good water. And now we'll do keys and then page flipping. So let's do some keys. Oh, come on, where are you, keys? They were hiding. I got them though. Okay, here we go with keys. First keys for the new mic. Oh boy. Alright. There was our keys, and now we'll do page flipping. Okay. Alright, Dark Storm, good night. Eat well, take care. Bye bye. Thanks for stopping in. There was the little book. Here's the big book. There's our page flipping. Alright. Hello. Hello, Mike. Scoot over, make room. Alright. I'm liking this new mic. I've been doing adjustments and it's been so quiet. There's been no need for any. Oh, watch out. Raven, that's the bare minimum. A mic should be able to do this. Well, I'm still grateful anyway. Okay. Raven talks to self. Oh boy, Raven really is tired. Raven can't get out of calling Raven in third person. Oh no. Well, we're moving on to the next story anyway, so let's do that. Raven, is Raven okay?
Hello, mods. Checking in. Sorry, it's just so silly because we've had like one person talking to me at a time here and there, and then both mods suddenly like, she sounds like she's mentally ill. Get in there. It's just silly. Raven has that kind of setting on brain right now, okay? It's the same setting that didn't have words very well for DJ, and the same setting that's like a little bit still stuck on the imagery of the freaking squirrel climbing up a tree into the stratosphere, going into space, and jumping off and just free bird playing. And the other dude, Coco, hitting the ground with a thunk in the door, smacking down on top of him after in like a 2-second vine kind of way. Where it's just like, damn, that's a tall tree. Just, he had fell, so thunk. And then with the door. And maybe a little whimper coming out of Coco. I can feel it. That's where brain is. That's all that's up. These your hugs. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next story. It seems like a little bit of a shorter one, so I'm excited. Boop, 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 boop. No, don't go away. We're just changing. He of the let's spell and let's get the spacing right so that they look like separate words. It's he of the little shell. This font, the capital H is weird. I don't like it, but anyway. He of the little shell. There you go. I'm calling it snail. It's probably not at all snail, but it feels like with a title like that, it's going to be about snails. I don't know. It sounds like fun. Okay. Once upon a time. Hey, since when are these ones kind of doing with that? Okay. All the people of a certain country had died. Oh no. Excepting 2 helpless children, a baby boy and a little girl. Okay, this book specifically is filled a little too much with children raising themselves and like being isolated from all other people. How is this happening every time? It's almost it is alarming. What? Why? These orphans need help. They're like, hey, do you think other humans exist? Well, man, I gotta imagine there do. I guess I better get moving. I better get walking. Oh, okay. It's a lot. Almost every one of these has been some degree of these kids were raised alone. They raised themselves. Parents? What parents? Yeah, it's like, you think Disney is bad with dead parent syndrome? Indian Fairy Book got them beat. Just say it. They don't even know other humans exist half the time. It's a very interesting, like the different storybooks, like themes, like it's just so weird. the, yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay. All the people in the country had died, excepting these two helpless children, a baby boy and a little girl. When their parents died, these children were asleep. The little girl, who was the elder, which is also a typical, it's the older sisters a little bit more often here. Like as opposed to the color fairy books, the European fairy books are a little bit more likely to be like the little girl, the big boy, and in this one it's a little bit more like little brother, big sister. Like the older sibling is the sister. She is more parentified kind of vibe. Anyway, not always, but anyway. The little girl, who was the elder, was the first to awake. She looked around her, but seeing nobody besides her little brother, who lay smiling in his dreams, she quietly resumed her bed. She's like, no one's here. Just everybody else stopped existing. Well, what can I do? Let's go back to bed. Okay. At the end of 10 days, her brother moved without opening his eyes. 10 days? You can't see my full expression on this model, but it's a big deal of just basic. What? What? Okay. End of 10 days, her brother moved without opening his eyes. At the end of 10 days more, he changed his position, lying on the other side. And in this way, he kept on sleeping for a long time. Yeah, 10 days, perfectly normal. And that's just 10 days without moving. Being asleep in total is the vague long time, which I'm going to call out at least a month, right? Okay. He kept on sleeping for a long time, and pleasant too must have been his dreams, for his little sister never looked at him, that he was not quite a little heaven of smiles. A little heaven of smiles, that's so cute. And flashing lights, which beamed about his head and filled the lodge with a strange splendor. What the fuck is your brother? What? I think you got a robo, baby. What is this? 3 paragraphs in, and I'm like, oh, we are so back, guys. The fairy tales giving us unhinged twists all over again. By the way, I absolutely put a star next to the squirrel story because I love the free bird and squirrel. We're officially putting a star next to this one. If it turns bad, it gets a star and a frowny face, but I can't imagine this being not great. Because this is immediately what? Just a baby that doesn't move for 10 days, is always smiling, and is flashing lights out of his head. What? Okay. And he slept for a long time. We still haven't gotten to him awake. How this baby is, like, properly conscious and everything. But okay. And filled the lodge with a strange splendor. Splendor is so vague. What do they mean, filled it with a strange splendor? Considering it's and filled the lodge with a strange splendor. Like, is there music? Is there an ambiance? Is there this feeling? Is I don't understand. But okay. Magic robo baby, whatever. It's cool. In a coma, or it would seem. The girl soon grew to be a woman. Is this just because she was parentified so quickly? Or is it actually like she grew faster than normal? Or is it just that we're skipping over all the things, the years? But either way. She soon to be grew, but the boy increased in stature very slowly. Okay, so he stays small. It was a long time before he could even creep. Yeah, I'm gonna go again that this is this is not a human baby. He was well advanced in, they forgot the space, advanced in years before he could stand alone. He's years old before he can stand up. Well advanced in years. Usually the phrase well advanced in years is like 80, or at least 60. Well advanced in years? How old is this fucking baby? What is this? He of the little shell. That is a very much inaccurate name. Like, there is much more pressing things about this child. I would have called him Rudolph before shell shit. I don't know. Okay. What is this? Octogenarian baby. Yes. An octogenarian baby. I love it. Thanks. I hate it. Okay. Oh boy. So, he's years old before he could stand alone. To be fair, I guess maybe the little sister isn't really teaching him well. Like, she doesn't know how to be parent. She barely learned to walk on her own. I don't know. Okay. When he was able to walk, his sister made him a little bow and arrows. Why only when he could walk? Could we not give him this before? Anyway, now he's got a bow and arrows. Maybe, alright. I would say it's a little bit early, but we know he's fairly old when he can walk, so fair enough. And hung around his neck a small shell, saying, "You shall be called Dies Emid." I want to read it like Latin or something, but I'm gonna say it's Dies Emid instead of like a Dias or something. No, Cupid. Yeah, I guess he's a Cupid. Look at that. Just a little. I mean, he does have lights on his head, and strange splendor. It does give cherub. It's giving cherub. Okay. Dies Emid, and the Latin sounding name for this. Yeah, this is a little cherub. That's who he is. Anyway, he of the little shell is the translation of the name. Every day he would go out with his little bow, shooting at the small birds. The first bird he killed was a tomtit. A tomtit. Don't you love bird names? Anyway, his sister was highly pleased when he took it to her. She carefully prepared and stuffed it and put it away for him. The next day he killed a red squirrel. No, not Oni. Or Ennui, sorry. Not ennui. Every time I was reading ennui, it's spelled Onwee, but I was reading it as ennui, like. Anyway, his sister preserved the squirrel too. The third day he killed a partridge, and this they had for their evening meal. After this he acquired more courage, and would venture some distance from home. Is he like 7 when he's doing this? Like, how old is he now? Is he 10? Was he 10 before he could walk? The vagueness on this age. I know that they're just like, yeah, whatever. But it's like, it feels significant. Advanced in years. Was he 60? Was he 10? Was he 3? Was he 15? Okay. Anyway, now he's off to go hunting. His skill and success as a hunter daily increased, and he killed the deer, bear, moose, and other large animals inhabiting the forest. Good for him. How old are you guys now? I'm concerned. Never mind, you're never going to tell me. It's fine. After this, at last, there we go. At last, although so very small of stature, he became a great hunter, and all that he shot he brought home and shared with his sister, and whenever he entered the lodge, a light beamed about his head and filled the place with a strange splendor. Just when he's home? Or like in general he does that, and when he gets home it fills that
place with it, because so he still has light beaming out of his head and the strange splendor going with him. Whatever that fucking means. He had now arrived at the years of manhood, but he still remained a perfect infant inside. He's a fucking cherub. I'm swearing lots, but I'm like thoroughly confused and feel like it's not ridiculous to be saying. Seemed like that'd make it hard to hunt. You would think, you would think, but apparently not. I don't know. Or maybe he's just that skilled. He's got the handicap and he still manages. I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. He's still an infant in size. One day, walking about in quest of game, he came to a small lake. It was in the winter season, and upon the ice of the lake he saw a man of giant height, employed killing beavers. Is he a giant, or is he a seeming giant to you, baby man? Man, baby. I don't know. Comparing himself with this great man, he felt that he was no bigger than an insect. Okay, so he really is. He is a giant man, and he is an insect in comparison. All right, this is 10-foot tall dude. He seated himself on the shore and watched his movements. When the large man... Sorry, I don't know, it just feels weird. Okay, when the large man had killed many beavers, he put them on a hand sled, which he had, and pursued his way home. When he saw him retired, the dwarf hunter followed, and wielding his magic shell, he cut off the tail of one of the beavers and ran home with the prize. Okay, so now we're calling the little guy a dwarf. To me, baby and like a dwarf, different heights. Like a little person, 3 feet, 4 feet. A baby, a foot and a half. It feels significant to me. Can we please nail down these details? I'm losing my mind. Because it also makes the man that is giant possibly smaller or bigger based on that. I'd love more specifics. Specificity would be nice, because my curiosity is going everywhere. I can't focus. This is Raven when her brain is like this. Congrats, it's a bit off the rails. It's a short story and I cannot get through it. I couldn't read a story straight if you paid me $1 million right now. I would feel every necessary I need to tell you a thought I have. I need to ask this question to you. I could not do it right now. Specifics are not this story's strong suit. This whole book, most fairy tales, there's always some specifics that they're like, no, don't worry about it. It's like, no, that feels very relevant right now. But this story and the last one specifically, this book specifically is extra. If it's relevant, you'll find out, and then you'll find out after it's already relevant, kind of thing. But okay, so baby man, cherub boy, jumps in and steals the tail off the guy when he was done and he brought his beaver home. He just yoinked the tail of one of the beavers. Not all of the beavers, just one. And didn't get all of it, just the beaver tail too. Like, didn't steal a whole beaver, none of that. Just, oh my gosh. Ah! STD rat. Welcome in. Are you a fan of Vice? I feel like that name came out of somewhere else. Who we gonna do for our dancey? I'm gonna do a normal parrot dance. I did party parrot last time, but have some parrot dancey. Whenever someone's new, we drop some dance emotes. So welcome in, and I'll say your name again in full just because it's a fun one. STD rat. Welcome in. Thank you. Hey, look at the little rat dance. See? That's why we like rats. Anyway. This confusing small man. Oh my gosh. If you're just a little person, I'm sorry they referred to you as a baby, but I'm also confused why you never walked, and why you stayed asleep for 10 days at a time, and why your head gives off light. I don't think this is just a little person. This is specific magic. This is a cherub. Okay. So yeah. Little dude randomly follows giant man home. And when he goes inside and the beavers are outside, he cuts off the tail of one of the beavers and takes it home. Maybe this is the origin of Beaver Tales, the sweet little snack. If this is, what a wild ride, but okay. The giant, on reaching his lodge with his sled loaf of beavers, was surprised to find one of them shorn of its tail. Okay, so no, he had put them on the sled and was on his way home, but then he took a break because it says when he saw him retired, the dwarf hunter followed and took the thing. Wait, wielding his magic shell, he cut off one of the tails. His shell is magic? The shell cut off the tail of the beaver? What is going on? Okay. Anyway, I guess the giant took a break before he got home when this all happened, because when he got home is when he notices this, but okay. The next day, the little hero of the shell went to the same lake. The giant, who had been busy there for some time, had already loaded his sled and commenced his return, but running nimbly forward and overtaking him, he succeeded in securing another of the beaver tails. This is one of those, this is one of those stories where the pronouns get blurry because who is the he you're talking about? We were talking about the giant and then suddenly the hero. So I'm sorry to say it, Indian fairy book, but you need to work on your writing. And not just the specificity, which you could say is like a plot device, but specifically your wording. Get burned. I don't know. Okay. You're confusing me. Is the point. But alright, little man took some of the beaver tails. Took another beaver tail. I wonder, said the giant on reaching his lodge and overlooking his beavers, what dog it is that has thus cheated me. Could I meet him, I would make his flesh quiver at the point of my javelin. Ooh. So first, we say it's a dog. I think in this case it is dog derogatory, like not a literal dog, but like a cur kind of thing. And I'm going to threaten that little whoever the heck. So, boy. The giant forgot that he had taken these very beavers out of a beaver dam which belonged to the little shell man and his sister without permission. Oh. Well, did he know that they lived there? Who said that it belonged to them? These are orphan children whose families are all gone. Who knows they're even alive? This giant doesn't know shit. But okay. To be fair, after the last story, people randomly just know things, so maybe it's that. I don't know. Seriously, how do they get this information? How does everybody know everything they need to know? Raven, you are halfway through a very reasonably short story. You cannot stay on track. Gosh. Okay. The next day he pursued his hunting at the beaver dam near the lake, and he was again followed by the little man with the shell. This time the giant was so nimble in his movements that he had nearly reached home before the shell, make the best speed he could overtake him. And now we're calling the dude the shell, I guess, but okay. But he was just in time to clip another beaver's tail before the sled slipped into the lodge. How are you pulling that off? It's now like en route, like while moving? Okay. The giant would have been a patient giant, indeed, if his anger had not been violent at these constant tricks played upon him. The giant would have been patient if he wasn't so impatient, is what I'm reading, but okay. Ninja cherub boy. Ninja cherub octogenarian baby. Robot in a coma. Confusing. I don't know. Who the hell are you? What are you? Okay. But yes, being very ninja. Okay. Alright. And the giant would be patient if he wasn't so impatient. Great. What vexed him most was that he could not get a sight of his enemy.
Well, he's using a magic shell. I don't know if he's even close when he's doing this. Sharp eyes he would have needed to do so, inasmuch, and for whatever reason this was one word, inasmuch. An editor needed to be on top of this story. They could have, firstly, helped out with the confusing pronoun moments and that spacing, but secondly, maybe been able to say, can I get any details? Okay. Inasmuch as he of the little shell had the gift of making himself invisible whenever he chose. See, this is one of those things. If it's relevant, they'll tell us, but they'll tell us after it's relevant. He's been doing this while invisible every time. You tell me this now? Now. Really? Okay. All right. The giant, giving vent to his feelings with many loud rumbling words, so he's venting out into the world at this point, cool, looked sharply around to see whether he could discover any tracks. He could find none. The unknown had stepped too lightly to leave the slightest mark behind. So he's even like, maybe if they're invisible, and then like, never mind, there's not even any freaking tracks. Yeah, 'cause it's a baby. It's a baby, man. With magic glowing head. Can he not see the glowing head? Or is that only when he's back in his home that his head glows? Like, what the heck is going on? Is he not feeling the splendor? The vague splendor filling the air? This whole thing sounds like was abbreviated by someone who forgot that new readers don't know everything already. Most of these stories do that. So many of them do. It's like, yeah, and then this and then that. And it's like, who the fuck is that? What do you mean he showed? What? Well, you know how it goes. What does that mean? Oh my gosh. Okay. I think it's just, honestly, like the way that there's a lot of the oral histories that get passed around, and, you know, the most known ones doesn't mean that they're the ones that are written down. It's just like, oh yeah, you know. No, I don't. But I actually don't know. I don't know how much is set. I don't know what we're missing at all. Maybe there was never any context. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know at all. Oh yeah, of course he's been invisible the whole time. Well, that would have helped make it a lot more sense earlier in the story. Yeah, it would have. It would have. Alright, I'm gonna focus. Oh my gosh, this is Manabozho. We've totally read Manabozho before. We have absolutely read that name. So yeah, there's definitely context that we're just missing. It's just like, oh yeah, it's Manabozho. What? I just read ahead, but we're gonna see in a second. Okay, so he's like, yeah, there's never any marks even. Dang it, I can't find this guy. The next day, the giant resolved to disappoint his mysterious follower by going to the beaver dam very early, and accordingly, when the little shell man came to the place, he found the fresh traces of his work, but the giant had already gone away. He followed hard upon his tracks, but he failed to overtake him. When he of the little shell came in sight of the lodge, the stranger was in front of it, employed in skinning his beavers. As Daisimid stood looking at him, for he had been all this time invisible, he thought, I will let him have a view of me. See, yeah, again, that would have been relevant, that you're always even, when he's even going to the lake, he's already invisible. That's kind of relevant. Anyway, I will let him have a view of me, he thinks. Presently, the man, who proved to be no less a personage than the celebrated giant, Manabozho, looked up and saw him. After regarding him with attention, Who are you, little man? Said Manabozho. I have a mind to kill you. The little hero of the shell replied, If you were to try to kill me, you could not do it. Well, isn't that a cocky son of a bitch? Okay. With this speech of the little man, Manabozho grabbed at him, but when he thought to have had him in his hand, he was gone. Where are you now, little man? Cried Manabozho. Here, under your girdle, answered the shell dwarf, at which giant Manabozho, thinking to crush him, slapped his own great hand
with all his might, but on unloosing his girdle he was disappointed to find no dwarf there. "Where are you now, little man?" he cried again in a greater rage than ever. So he's just slapped himself in the tummy. You can see how this is going to go. He's going to beat himself up. "In your right nostril," the dwarf replied, whereupon the giant Manabozho, seizing himself by the finger and thumb at the place, so which is to say that he smushed his nose, and gave it a violent tweak. But as he immediately heard the voice of the dwarf at a distance upon the ground, he was satisfied that he had only pulled his own nose to no purpose. Yep. Yeah. "Goodbye, Manabozho," said the voice of the invisible dwarf. "Count your beaver tails, and you will find that I have taken another for my sister, for he of the little shell never in his wanderings or pastimes forgot his sister and her wishes. Goodbye, beaver man." "Goodbye, beaver man." You just called him Manabozho. Why are you calling him Beaver Man? And is this relevant? Like, now we know that there's like the beaver tails are for the sister, and like, what? Okay, just how many beavers are there here? Enough for multiple every day. He is Manabozho is definitely over hunting the area and gonna deplete the beaver population, but he's a giant. He's got to eat a lot. He should probably vary his diet so that he's not completely destroying the ecosystem, but who am I to argue with a giant beaver man? Which implies a very different image in my head. Oh my gosh. I'll also point out that they spell goodbye in this particular story. Oh, I know, Cage. I know. Raven. I know, but I find it very entertaining, Cage, so I'm going to keep saying it. I wanted to say that they're spelling goodbye, GOOD-BY, and I just think that's interesting. A different little twist on them. Oh, we end with a song. This is going to be interesting. I got a cough. Hold on. He of the little shell is oh, this is getting a second star on it. It's unhinged again. All right, goodbye, beaver man. And as he went away, he made himself visible once more. And a light beamed out about his head. Okay, so does he have control of the light leaving his head? And now we have light? I don't understand. Okay. And a light beamed about his head and lit the air around him with a strange splendor. Again, strange splendor. What does that mean? And a circumstance. What do you mean? A strange splendor. Semicolon. My brain. Semicolon. A circumstance which Manabozho, who was at times quite thick-headed and dull of apprehension, could no way understand. I can't either. Give me more freaking anything. I guess I'm a thick-headed giant. I'm a thick-headed giant beaver man. Okay, no. When Deus Amid returned home, he told his sister that the time drew nigh when they must separate. Why? When did that come about? What? Okay. I must go away, said Deus Amid. It is my fate. You too, he added, must go away soon. Tell me where you would wish to dwell. Have you even seen anywhere in the world? Do you even know? Okay. She said, I would like to go to the place of the breaking of daylight. I have always loved the east. The earliest glimpses of light are from that quarter, and it is to my mind the most beautiful part of the heavens. After I get there, my brother,
Whenever you see the clouds in that direction of various colors, you may think that your sister is painting her face. Okay, in one piece, she says she wants to go to the east because she likes to seeing the breaking of light. In another, she says she wants to go to the heavens. Are you saying it's your time to die? What is happening? And I, said he, I, my sister, shall live on the mountains and rocks. There I can see you at the earliest hour. There are the streams of water clear, the air is pure, and the golden lights will shine ever around my head, and I shall ever be called Puck Inini, or the little wild man of the mountains. The little wild man of the mountains? Okay. Why are we changing names? Okay. But, he resumed, before we part forever, I must go and try to find what manitoes rule the earth, and see which of them will be friendly to us. Oh, the manitoes again. He left his sister and traveled over the surface of the globe, and then went far down into the earth. I thought you said you were going in the mountains. Why are you going under the ground? What is happening? Oh, hello. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. How did you get your name to look like that? But hello, Violet Roses. Welcome in. We have a tradition. We drop dance emotes whenever we've got somebody new. So I'm going to drop some little dances. Dance, dance, dance. Thank you for dropping in. We're almost done this story. Oh my gosh. But anyway, okay. I can do this. He went down into the earth somehow. Magic. Obviously. I'm just glad somebody's giving me some specificity and context, because this story is refusing to do so. Okay. He's going down into the earth now for whatever reason. He had been treated well wherever he went. At last he came to a giant manito who had a large kettle which was forever boiling. The giant, who was a first cousin to Manabozho, well, they're related, oh my goodness, and had already heard of the tricks which Deisimid had played upon his kinsman, oh no, regarded him with a stern look, and catching him up in his hand, he threw him unceremoniously into the kettle. Well, I guess this is the end of the little man, but all right. It was evidently the giant's intention to drown Deisimid, in which he was mistaken, for by means of his magic shell, little Deus, in less than a second's time, bailed the water to the bottom, leaped from the kettle, and ran away unharmed. Because he had a magic shell, he scooped the water out of a giant's kettle, scooped it all out. He's wearing the little shell. It's a tiny shell. Tiny man wearing tiny shell scoops out all of the water in a giant kettle, gets to the bottom, and jumps out of it. How did you jump that high? Even if we're going to say magic shell does the scooping, how did you jump that high? And even further, in less than a second. Goddamn. Okay, bailed the water to the bottom left and ran away unharmed. He returned to his sister and related his rovings and adventures. He finished his story by addressing her thus. My sister, there is a manito at each of the 4 corners of the earth. There is also one above them, far in the sky, a great being who assigns to you and to me and to all of us where we must go. And last, he continued, there is another and wicked one who lives deep down in the earth. It will be our lot to escape out of his reach. We must now separate. When the winds blow from the 4 corners of the earth, you must then go. They will carry you to the place you wish. I go to the rocks and mountains where my kindred will ever delight to dwell. Deisimid then took his ball stick and commenced running up a high mountain. His ball stick? War club? Anyway. And a bright light shone all about his head in the way, and he kept singing as he went. So he just sometimes has a glowing head. It's not very good specifics, but okay. Blow, winds, blow, my sister lingers, for her dwelling in the sky, where the morn with rosy fingers shall her cheeks with vermil dye.
There, D-Y-E. There my earliest views directed shall from her their color take, and her smiles through clouds reflected guide me on by wood or lake. While I range the highest mountains, sport in valleys green and low, or beside our Indian fountains raise my tiny hip hello. A tiny hip hello. Presently the winds blew, and as Day Simid had predicted, his sister was borne by them to the eastern sky, where she has ever since lived, and her name is now the Morning Star. So yeah, for whatever reason, she goes to heaven. I don't. Okay. It was the other guy that seemed to be somehow majestical magic, but I guess that should have told us magic little dude's older sister is something. But I'm floored. Anyway, the end. Okay. Cool. What a ride. Well, it's always the answer magic. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. This, wow, 1869, this story. And then we're jumping straight into Manabozho, the Mischief Maker, an extremely long story. So we could get context, but there's no way in hell I'll be able to finish this before the stream's over. So I think we're going to have to come back around to that Manabozho story where we get more context. I have another short one, but knowing me right now, it will last to the end of stream. That and or I could do a little chat at the end. But anyway, the next one would be Leelinau. Oh my goodness, Raven. Just pick up the book, move it over. Yes. Let's write it legibly, because you will have to read it later. Leelinau. The Lost Daughter. That's the next one. It's interesting. Interesting. But now it's time for redeems. So, I will put that away. We'll do triggers. Boop boop boop. And what are we gonna do for the first one? We ain't got no redeems going right now. Nobody's requested anything. Oh, why? Hydrate. Well, I will do that. Thank you very much. Violet Roses, you're new and you probably don't have all that many radioactive ribbits. If you see one that you would like me to do, I think you have a free one. I'll give you one for free. What redeem would you like? If you want to. You don't have to. And if you do nothing, what would I do? Oh, I know what I'll do. I'm going to do brushes. Let's do some brushes. I said, come on now. I did type this out, just wasn't cooperating. Sure you heard the little keys. Alright, here we go. Okay, there is our brushies. Every time I've had adjustments with the brushes, like it sounded different various times. It's interesting. I want to hear it without the fuzzy on it. Here we go. Come on, fuzzy. Off you go. There we go. You're naked. Oh my god. Oh god. Okay. There's a fuzzy. Go back. I think I like it without the fuzzy on it. But I don't know. You tell me. Sticks rustle time. You got it, Fet. Hold on while I scoot in the chair, rolling away. Come here, a box of sticks. Box that's also the sumo wrestling time box. Okay, sticks rustle. Here we go. And hi, Sky Dryad. Yes, we said magic. Magic is how Violet Rose's name is a little different. And magic, the answer to our fairy tale stories being very confusing and weird. Of course, it's magic. There we go. Sticks time. Here we are. Alright. Sorry. And there was our sticks rustle. Alright, I snuggled back in. Did you decide on anything, Violet Roses? If not, I think I'm gonna jump into the next story now. But if so, I'm happy to do more. If there's any other redeems, happy to do redeems right now. It is the time. And on these slow nights, happy to do more. Okay. What then? I will do Leelinau, the Lost Daughter. Sounds very interesting. Here we go. And if we're done this one before our time's up, then I'll probably do some chatting at the end of the stream. I don't want to risk starting a story because I've gone off the rails so much, if we don't finish this one in time. So we'll do redeems and chat for a while at the end of the stream if this one doesn't take us all the way to 2. But yeah. There's your hydrate, Sky Dryad. Thank you for that. I'm gonna do a quick cough. Alright. Leelinau, the Lost Daughter. Here we go. Leelinau was the favorite daughter of a hunter who lived on the lake shore near the base of the lofty highlands called Kaungwujo. Hey, she's got a parent. This is what matters. Not an orphan left to raise herself and her sibling. Okay. From her earliest youth, she was observed to be thoughtful and retiring. What does that mean? That much is apparent. I appreciate that one, Cage. I do. Okay. I don't get. She's thoughtful and retiring? Is that supposed to mean that she's very, like, chill at home? Anyway. She passed much of her time in solitude. Yeah, that's what I kind of took from the last one. I don't know. And seemed ever to prefer the companionship of her own shadow to the society of the lodge circle. She's an extreme introvert. Or something else that creates the same effect. Whenever she could leave her father's lodge, she would... What am I doing? She would fly to remote haunts and recesses in the woods, or sit in lonely reverie upon some high promontory of rock overlooking the lake. Ugh. I've always liked the word promontory. It feels stupid. Anyway, okay. Overlooking the lake. In such places she would often, with her face turned upward, linger long in contemplation of the air, as if she were invoking her guardian spirit and beseeching him to lighten her sadness. She's sad? I thought she was a happy little introvert. You telling me now she's depressed? Dude! Two very different things. But does have the same effect. God damn it. Okay. But amid all the leafy haunts, none drew her steps toward it so often as a forest of pines on the open shore, called Manitowoc, or the Sacred Wood. It was one of those hallowed places in which the resort of the little wild men of the woods. The little wild man of the woods was our dude that we met. That's our glowing cherub weird old man baby.
Weird glowing child cherub old man baby. Such a long-winded nonsense name, but that's fully who he was. Okay. Little wild man of the woods. His people. The wild men of the woods. And of the turtle spirits, or fairies which delight in romantic scenes. Specifically romantic fairies? What? Anyway, some magical fuckers. Raven's a little sideways today. Oh my goodness. Insert fairy nonsense of various degrees. Those people. All right. Owing to this circumstance, yes, the glowing cherub old man baby, of course. It is. That was. Oh my gosh, I need to keep moving. Okay. Also, insert new quote. Fairy fuckers. Anyway, okay, not. Was that the exact words I used? That implies something else. Oh my gosh. Okay. Owing to this circumstance, I'm just gonna move forward. Its green retirement was seldom visited by Indians who feared to fall under the influence of its mischievous inhabitants. Okay. And whenever they were compelled by stress of weather to make a landing on this part of the coast, they never failed to leave an offering of tobacco or some other token to show that they desired to stand well with the proprietors of the fairy ground. To this sacred spot Leelinau had made her way at an early age, gathering strange flowers and plants which she would bring home to her parents and relate to them all the haps and mishaps that had occurred in her rambles. This story is escalating very quickly. Raven stream, 2 loot. The story itself is not escalating. Raven is escalating because the last 2 stories have been a bit extremely unhinged, and we're referencing them, and I'm getting a little a little everywhere. Sorry, big loud there for a sec. Um, it's just that kind of night. Okay, and this poor girl, okay, she's going home and she's saying this is what happened and this is how things went bad that happened, and she's giving all of this rambling. Oh my gosh. And apparently she's going there to lighten her sadness. Just throw that at us for a second, okay? All right. Although they discountenanced, sorry, my brain, her frequent visits to the place, they were not able to restrain them, for she was of so gentle and delicate a temper that they feared to thwart her. So she's so depressed they're scared to take away the few good things she has? Is that what they mean to say? She was so delicate and gentle a temper that they feared to thwart her. She was mentally ill and they were scared. That's what I'm reading it as. Anyway, okay. Her attachment to the fairy wood, therefore, grew with her years. If she wished to solicit her spirits to procure pleasant dreams or any other maiden favor, Leelinau repaired to the Manitowoc. Sorry, my brain. If her father remained abroad in the hunt later than usual, and it was feared that he had been overwhelmed by the tempest or had met with some other mischance, Leelinau offered up her prayers for safety at the Manitowoc. It was there that she fasted, mused, and strolled. She at length became so engrossed by the fairy pines that her parents began to suspect that some evil spirit had enticed her into its haunts, and had cast upon her a charm which she had not the power to resist. Honestly, this is giving... I'm just like transposing this indigenous story of a girl being so out of step with the rest of reality, the rest of society, that she's running away and experiencing magic, or like pretending to, I don't know. She is experiencing it in these stories. It's always real, so yeah, but she's just like willingly going into that disaster as opposed to society. And I'm just transposing it onto like modern goth girls or something. I don't know. And like also the old stories of similarly in another place, you know, like let's transpose this to Scotland or something where fairy wilds over there. It's just like, I hate people. I'm going into the woods. Take me, fairies, over there to them too. And it's like, I'm glad this transcends place and time. Fuck it, send me to the fairies is a consistent choice for women. I like it. It's accurate. Okay, so she's having a good time, comparatively. Her parents suspect that some evil spirit has enticed her to his haunts. And I'm just at that point, I'm just envisioning Midwestern parents and this goth girl. And they're like, some bad biker boy has contaminated our sweet little girl. And then meanwhile, she's just like, no, I just like Hot Topic. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, okay. And had cast upon her a charm which she had not the power to resist. No, it was fully her choice. This belief was confirmed. Oh, never mind. It was confirmed. Someone did convince her into this. Oh, no. Okay. This belief was confirmed when one day her mother, who had secretly followed her, overheard her murmuring to some unknown and invisible companion appeals like these. Well, that doesn't mean that she didn't choose it. Anyway, Spirit of the dancing leaves, whispered Leelinau, hear a throbbing heart in its sadness. Spirit of the foaming stream, visit thou my nightly pillow, shedding over its silver dreams of mountain brook and pebbly rivulet. Spirit of the starry night, lead my footprints to the blushing Miskodeed, or where the burning passion flower shines with carmine hue. Spirit of the greenwood plume, she concluded, with passionate gaze to the beautiful young pines which wave. Okay, so this is just like, especially my trees. Okay, she's a little horny for trees. Okay. Forgive me, I'm being unhinged tonight. Um, she concluded, turning with passionate gaze to the beautiful young pines, which stood waving their green beauty over her head. Shed on me, Leelinau the sad, thy leafy great fragrance, such as spring unfolds from sweetest flowers, or hearts that to each other show their inmost grief. Spirits, hear, oh, hear a maiden's prayer. There really is two ways to read this. Is either she's like concerning and unhinged and, as I said, maybe a little horny for trees, or she's just like generally like, I feel most spiritual in this woods. I feel like you spirits are the ones that have guided me to a happier place of mind, nicer dreams. Please help me while I'm so depressed. But either way, it's the fact that mom is watching that I'm just like, oh gosh, this feels like a comedy, not a tragedy, not a real. This is not genuine and grounded. This is unhinged. That's where it goes unhinged in my head. But okay, Cage, go eat. You just dozed off at your desk in this nonsense? Really? Okay. But alright. Sleep well. I give where go there. Good night, Cage. Alright. Oh, here a maiden's prayer. Oh gosh. I want to see this turn into a weird little culty comedy. Anyway. Day by day, these strange communings. And I will say, actually, normally in these stories, we confirmed the magic and it really is happening. But so far, we have not seen the magic actually work. It feels very much like no one else believes but her. Just saying, but okay. Day by day, these strange communings with unseen beings drew away the heart of Leelinau more and more from the simple duties of the lodge, and she walked among her people, melancholy and silent, like a spirit who had visited them from another land. The pastimes which engaged the frolic moments of her young companions passed by her little trivial pageants in which she had no concern. Passed by her as little trivial pageants in which she had no concern. Hey, fair enough. She's just not feeling it. She's a goofy little goth girl. It's okay. Alright. I'm tired enough. I can fall asleep to about anything. Last night I woke up, checked on alert, my phone, and fell asleep with YT short-living. It worked itself into my dreams, but I otherwise slept like a baby. Aw. You've just got the one YouTube short looping and looping. Oh no. I'm curious what it was, but I'm not asking because I'm already severely off track. But yes, go eat, Cage. Take care. I already gave you my little kiss goodbye. Go, go, go. My little frog. Mwah. Look at him. He's just a cute little guy. Oh gosh. Fett did so good at that. Oh, okay. Anyway. When the girls of the neighboring lodges assembled to play at the favorite female games of Papusikowan, or the block and string, before the lodge door, Leelinau would sit vacantly by, or enter so feebly into the spirit of the play as to show that it was irksome to her. Oh gosh, she's very much giving, I'm better than this and I'm horny for trees. I'm horny for fairy trees. Let's clarify, Raven. Let's be real. It's not for any trees. She wears a pentagram, you know. Okay. Oh, Thank you for tucking them in. Thank you, Sky Dryad and Fat, you guys. Okay. So she's like, this is so not fairy. I don't know. I don't know. She's not having it. Again in the evening, when the young people formed a ring around the lodge, and the piping jigand, I don't know this, or leather and bone, passed rapidly from one to the other, she either handed it along without attempting to play, or if she took part, it was with no effort to succeed. So basically a girl of refined taste, yes. And her refined taste is very supernatural and specific. that's the other bit. And spoopy to everybody else. Very spoopy to everybody else. This is why I put goth girl on her a little bit. or you know, just the fairy like cottagecore type, but like I'm feeling more goth. I don't know. Just a vibe. Just the way the parents were worried that someone has corrupted her gives me that. Which I don't think that the fairy peeps would do. Anyway. Okay. The time of the corn gathering had come, and the young people of the tribe were assembled in the field, busy in plucking the ripened maize. One of the girls, noted for her beauty, had found a red ear, and everyone congratulated her that a brave admirer was on his way to her father's lodge. Okay, so that's what a red ear of corn meant? She blushed, and hiding the trophy in her bosom, she thanked the good spirit that it was a red ear and not a crooked that she had found. What does it mean when it's crooked? Is our girl hearing this and going like, well, I want a crooked because I think that that's unique and like you're just basic. You know? Is that what she's thinking? Presently it chanced that one who was there among the young men espied in the hands of Leelinau, who had plucked it indifferently, one of the crooked kind. I knew it. And at once the word Wegemin was shouted along through the field, and the whole circle was set in a roar. What does that mean? What does this mean? The thief is in the cornfield, exclaimed the young man. It makes her a thief? What? Okay. Iago, not Iago, Iago, by name, and famous in the tribe for his mirthful powers of storytelling. Oh no, so he's lying. Oh my gosh. I can see this guy made up a spooky story about a spooky girl. When the pretty girl got the pretty corn, the spooky girl got the crooked corn that started a bunch of shitty rumors about. I'm having feelings. Oh, this is. Someone needs to put a star next to this VOD and just say this is the one. This is the one. Okay. Anyway. Oh, and all the clips. Oh, I imagine you guys can make so many silly clips out of this one. My God. Okay. And there's 10 of you in here. Jeez. I'm going to recommend people watch this one back. I will. This is too silly. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so he's known for storytelling. See you not the old man stooping as he enters the field? See you not signs that he crouched as he crept in the dark? What? How is this relevant? It is not plain. Is it not plain by this mark on the stalk that he was heavily bent in his back? Old man, be nimble, or someone will take thee while thou art taking the ear. Old man? I thought Leelinau was plucking it. Oh my gosh, what is happening? These questions Iago accompanied with the action of one bowed with age stealthily entering the cornfield. So he's miming it right now. This feels too mundane for the rest of the fairy tales, that this just feels like a normal girl. And, like, nobody believes in the fairy stuff, but she does, and everybody's making fun of her or being concerned about her. Yay, you slept at dawn. Good morning, I'm glad. be here for some unhinged story, and please watch back as soon as you can the nonsense stories, because this particular set of stories has been unhinged and I'm enjoying it greatly. Okay. So he's bent over. These questions, he does that, and then he goes on. See how he stoops as he breaks off the ear. Nushka, he seems for a moment to tremble. Walker, be nimble. Who? It is plain the old man is the thief. He turned suddenly where she sat in the circle, pensively regarding the crooked ear which she held in her hand, and exclaimed, Leelinau, the old man is thine. Laughter rung merrily through the cornfield, but Leelinau, casting down upon the ground the crooked ear of maize, walked pensively away. They're literally bullying this girl. She's about to come back with a demon on her back that murders all of them or something. This is just how this is gonna go. This is giving me some serious soap opera vibes. Not gonna lie. I'm not seeing soap opera. I'm seeing first 20 minutes of a teen horror. Now, before I was seeing kids soap opera, you know, the teen dramas. But now it's going specifically into a spooky. They made fun of her. She's the spooky girl. There's gonna be revenge, and it's gonna be swift. Whew. Okay. So she threw it on the ground, and she's walking away. The next morning, the eldest son of a neighboring chief called at her father's lodge. So this random son from a neighboring chief is showing up. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, no. Okay, so when they're saying the crooked one is that... Okay, so the red ear was that you're going to get a brave admirer at the lodge asking for your hand. And the crooked one is supposed to be you're going to get an old man knocking, because here we go. It was the chief's... No, it was... Next morning, eldest son of a neighboring chief. He was quite advanced in years. See, this is what it means. It means 60 plus. Does not mean 10 years old like the little man. Anyway, quite advanced in years. But he enjoyed such renown in battle, and his name was so famous in the hunt, that the parents accepted him as a suitor for their daughter. So she's literally got an old man, just like the corn said she would. Oh my gosh. They hoped that his shining qualities would draw back the thoughts of Leelinau from that spirit land whither she seemed to have wholly directed her affections. Honestly, especially after what just happened yesterday with with that little class clown bullshit, she's not here for it. I'm relating to this too hard. Okay. It was the chief's son whom Iago had pictured as the corn taker, but without objecting to his age or giving any other reason. Leelinau firmly declined his proposals, as I knew. She's thinking of like a hot demon boy. No. Okay. The parents ascribed the young daughter's hesitancy to maiden fear. What the fuck does maiden fear even mean? Okay, and paying no further heed to her refusal, a day was fixed for the marriage visit to the lodge. Marvelous. Okay. The young warrior came to the lodge door, and Leelinau refused to see him, informing her parents at the same time that she would never consent to the match. It had been her custom... A hot demon tree boy. Yes, you're correct, Skydryad. She's horny for fairy trees. Right. Yes, we know this. This is so silly and I love it. I'm going to put a heart next to this one. It already had a star, but it's getting a heart. And then I want to... Goth. How do I note this? Oh my gosh. Okay. She's refusing. It had been her custom to pass many of her hours in her favorite place of retirement under a broad-topped young pine. Ooh. She likes to be in one specific young broad tree. Oh, oh my gosh. Okay. whose leaves whispered in every wind that blew. Oh, the trees whispering to her? This is too silly. Okay. The leaves whispered in every wind that blew, but most of all in that gentle murmur of the air at the evening hour, dear to lovers when the twilight steals out. Oh, I told you guys that it was reading more comedy than like straight laced. This was totally going this way. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thither she now repaired, and while reclining pensively against the young pine tree, she fancied that she heard a voice addressing her. Hello? At first, it was scarcely more than a sigh. There was no hello, by the way. That was me. At first, it was scarcely more than a sigh. Presently, it grew more clear, and she heard it distinctly whisper. Okay. Oh my gosh, guys. It's happening. It's happening. Okay. She heard it distinctly whisper. Maiden, think me not a tree, but thine own dear lover.
Oh, wait. Shit. How did it get so quiet? Hold on.
Maiden, think me not a tree, but thine own dear lover, fond to be with thee in my tall and blooming strength. With the bright green nodding plume that waves above thee. Thou art leaning on my breast, Leelinau. Lean forever there and be at peace. Fly from men who are false and cruel. Yeah, fuck that little class clown guy. Okay. Fly from men who are false and cruel, and quit the tumult of their dusty strife for this quiet, lonely shade. Over thee my arms will fling. I don't know why. Over thee my arms will. Anyway. Over thee my arms will fling. Fairer than the lodge's roof, I will breathe a perfume like that of flowers over thy happy evening rest. In my bark canoe I'll waft thee o'er the waters of the sky blue lake. I will deck the folds of thy mantle with the sun's last rays. Come, and on the mountain free rove a fairy bright with me. Oh, oh, oh. This is exactly what her AO3 said would happen. Leelinau, drunk in with eager ear those magical words. Her heart was fixed. No warrior's son should clasp her hand. She listened in the hope to hear the airy voice speak more, but it only repeated, again, again, and entirely ceased. On the eve of the day fixed for her marriage, Leelinau decked herself in her best garments. She arranged her hair according to the fashion of her tribe and put on all of her maiden ornaments in a beautiful way. With a smile, she presented herself before her parents. Oh boy. I am going, she said, to meet my little lover, the chieftain of the green plume, who is waiting for me at the spirit grove. Her face was radiant with joy, and the parents, tasking what she had said as her own fanciful way of expressing acquiesce in their plans, wished her good fortune in the happy meeting. They're like, do you understand this slang? No, I don't know what the kids are saying. What is she saying? I think she's saying she's good. Like, she looks like she's ready to get married. It does look like she's ready to get married. Okay, you go ahead and do that, honey. What the fuck? Let's just get her out of here. I hope you followed me through that imagery. Okay. I'm just seeing, again, these parents that are just lost. Okay. So like, okay, honey, you go ahead and do that. I am going, she continued, addressing her mother as they left the lodge. I am going from one who has watched my infancy and guarded my youth, who has given me... Well, I don't like that now. That sounds like he was grooming her. Anyway, who has given me medicine when I was sick and prepared my food when I was ill. Yeah, really, this is. Anyway, okay. I am going from a father who has ranged the forest to procure the choice skins for my dress, and kept his lodge supplied with the best spoil of the chase. I am going from a lodge which has been my shelter from the storms and winter, and my shield from the heats of summer. Farewell, my parents, farewell. In the translation onto the goth girl side, she's saying that she's going to go to hell. Anyway. So saying, she sped faster than any could follow her to the margin of the fairy wood, and in a moment was lost to sight. And she had often thus withdrawn herself from the lodge. The parents were not in fear, but confidently awaited her return. Hour chased hour as the clouds of evening rolled up in the west. Darkness came on, but no daughter returned. With torches they hastened to the wood, and although they lit up every dark recess and leafy gloom, their search was in vain. Leelinau was nowhere to be seen. They called aloud in lament upon her name, but she answered not. Suns rose and set, but never more in their light did the bereaved parents' eyes behold the lost form of their beloved child. Their daughter was lost indeed. Whither she had vanished, nor mortal tongue could tell. Although it chanced that a company of fishermen who were spearing fish near the spirit grove descried something that seemed to resemble a female figure standing on the shore. As the evening was mild and the waters calm, they cautiously pulled their canoe toward land, but the slight ripple of their oars excited alarm. The figure fled in haste, but they could recognize in the shape and dress as she ascended the bank the lost daughter, and they saw the green plumes of her fairy lover waving over his forehead as he glided lightly through the forest of young pines. The end. So she did get to go off and live her little fairy hot life. Oh my gosh. Ooh. This has been a 10 out of 10. Every story got a star. This stream has been marvelous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah. Wow. Wow. Okay. I want this to be a modern story. I wish this was an episode on Res Dogs. I love this. Amazing story. I know that we love Jack Ma Hedgehog and its unhingedness. I argue the last or the first 2 out of the 3 from tonight match that energy. And this one is its own separate gold. This one matches W.P. Kinsella with wackiness. It's just, yes, I can see it. I can see it. I can see this happening. I saw it possibly going into, and I'll murder you for making fun of me. But it didn't, and that's good. I'm glad she got to live her little happy life. But it felt very much like a little comedy bit at the start. And then, oh, happy ending. She did get to live a little happy life in her fairyland. Good for her. But oh my gosh. I love it. 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 Okay. We only have 15 minutes left to stream. And I kind of saw this coming where I would take a long time to read a short story. So I'm glad that I haven't tried to start another one. We'll just chat. So I'm going to do Water Jar. If you have other redeems, we'll do them. But we can just hang out for the last little bit because that feels a bit more likely. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to set up for Water Jar and I'm going to do a quick cough in a second as well. So hold on. Okay, now we're going to do Water Jar. Let's go ahead with that. Ooh, and Singing Frog after that. You got it. Okay, here we go. Water Jar.
There was our water jar. Next, we're gonna do Singing Frog. You got it. And hi, Pudgy. We have the new mic, and I saw you the last stream, but I don't think you stuck around, right? Unless my brain is broken. I wanted to say extra thank you because the mic is very nice and very fancy, and you gave out the most of the making sure we got it. It even smells nice. It's so nice. And I'm very grateful for it. It sounds so good. It does. And it's so clean. And listen to this. I am still talking and moving the mic, and you can hear a little bit of like I'm moving it. But it's like, it's so quiet. It doesn't do any of the big squeakies. It doesn't. It's so nice. You ended up lurking. Aha! There you go. Okay, what was I? And I just clicked it to Singing Frog. That's what it was. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna forget what it was. You didn't, Raven. You almost did, but you didn't. That's what matters. Okay. Singing Frog time. Here we go. And there was our Singing Frog. Pudgy, unbanned. If you haven't been watching this whole time, tonight was a bit of a wild stream. Worth every second for clipping and nonsense because it's unhinged, and I demand some nonsense stories, clips, because they were just. I know I said lots of things that could be taken out of context in a very fun way, and I demand it happen now. Because they were weird and fun and stupid. I'm gonna upload it very quickly onto YouTube, I think. So yeah, and I think that you can the do the clips thing. Someone was saying that like you have to be a subscriber to do the things. I've been here at least since Fairy Bookers. It tried to not allow that, but I'm gonna allow that right now. Yes, that one was a good one. Yes, since then. It was a good bit. Oh my gosh. Literally every story got a star next to it. I would read all of those stories multiple more times for you guys. They were so great. So this is absolutely a stream I want to like put a great big highlight and star on. Just because they were so fun, silly stories. I mean, maybe not the best for ASMR times, but the best story times, I think. Oh my gosh. Okay, now it's comb twing time. And it is still like nice ASMR. I mean, I was kind of loud here and there, but it's a nice fancy mic. It's catching all the stuff nicely. I think it's probably a good day for that. Anyway, okay, here's comb twing. Here we go. All right. That was our comb twing. I see a bunch that Lahonk has just dropped in, and I gotta say, you know what time it is. There's not enough time to do all of those. You know. Oh, stop! Lahonk! I will be refunding at least a couple of those. No! Stop! You little shit, stop! I have 2 brushes, so I'm just gonna do one of them. Ew. This is what the refund button is for, lol. It is. Well, 24-hour stream. No, no. Stop. Sky Dryad, Adon. I want you guys to do some sort of way to decide which one of you gets your points back. Can you guys both roll? Both of you roll. Roll for refund. We're doing that. Adon and Sky, go ahead and do the roll commands or something. Yeah. Lahonk is our hero. Sky Dryad isn't on the bonk side. Oh no. Adon, you did Riz. I said roll. Vetster rolled. Lahonk's trying to roll. Come on, guys. I can pass this time. Come on, you guys. Roll for initiative. Exactly. Come on. Just the 2 of them. Everybody else making it all messy. But nice roll, Vet. Good roll. The honk 5% love between me and the honk right now. Well, I wouldn't say that bad. It's just how. Oh no, Sky. A 1. Why are the frogs kissing? Making all the frogs gay. No. Love the honk. Adon loves the honk. 19%. Only 15% more than me. Well, Adon, if you can roll, you rolled a 3. Both of you failed, but Adon failed less, so I'm refunding Adon. That's so stupid. Oh, I love it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do the brushies, and I'm gonna take off the little foam for the brushies here. Then we're gonna do card dealing and scissor snips, and I think that's gonna be it. We're not gonna do Kalimba Rage Puff Water Jar. Okay? Rolling like I did in my D&D game tonight. Ayy! I hope your D&D was fun tonight. I really want to get back into D&D. I was saying that I was watching VODs, and I just made the hint. But basically, there you go. Can you guess what VODs I was watching based on the reference of me saying it now instead of other times? Can you guess? That's why I never rely on die when playing. It was fun. Was our first session of a new campaign. Ooh, fun. And you didn't invite me? No. Okay, brushies time. I'm gonna do brushes. You say no clue, Adon. I say fet guess. Based on the clue I just gave. Okay, brushes. Brushes. Okay. Don't we all? My group is always so busy. Both my D&D games were canceled today. Oh darn. And then we're thinking real hard. Okay. I'm gonna pull off the little fuzzy, and I'm gonna do the brushes. Here we go. You're naked. Okay. Here comes the thing again. Foomp. I was saying, you are naked. The microphone is naked. You lose your little cover when I do the brushes. I think I just like it that way. It sounds better. Ugh, I adjusted the mic too hard. Okay, so there we go. The brushes are done. I'm gonna do scissor snips first and then card dealing, I think. And then refunds. I gave you that time to think. I was watching a D&D stream. There you go. The more specific I did, the less likely you'll be able to figure out what I was watching. But it was a D&D stream. Anyway, yeah. I fear it's becoming a tradition with this new mic. I take off the fuzzy and I'm like, oh, you're naked. And I'm like, I just say it every time. It's instinct. And I'm like, this is gonna create problems. But I feel like it. I feel like saying it. I don't know. Scissor snips. Here we go. Alrighty. There we go with the scissor snips. I love that little kitty. Look at the little blip. It's very slow little blip. And I can't even do my tongue out in my model anymore. I miss it from Vi's place. Okay, card dealing, and then I'm gonna refund the others. I shouldn't even do card dealing. We're already at 2 a.m., but I'm gonna do it. I'm being nice, LaHonk. Okay. Come here, cards. Here we go, here we go. A boop, a boop, a boop. Refunded, refunded, refunded. Card dealing. Here we go. No, LaHonk, not 3 a.m. Another time when I'm planning it ahead of time. Not now. Okay, let's pull out the cards that are supposed to leave. Get out of there. And then here we go. Could you please stay out of the way? Why you gotta be complicated? Why you gotta make things okay. You say that, Pudgy? I'm gonna finish doing this, and then I'm gonna pull a card, and you're gonna guess what my card is. You wanna do that? You're gonna do that. Guess my card after this. No, okay. I'm gonna pull the top card after I've shuffled everything. I haven't looked at it. Are you guessing King of Spades / King of Hearts? Is that what you're guessing? I've not looked at it yet. It's facing you guys. You can't see it. I'm gonna look. 7 of diamonds. Ah! It was Jack of Clubs. Darn. Raven! Bonk. What? Why you bonk me? Why the aggression at the end of the night? You're so mean. The other side was 2 of diamonds, so that was also not close. Oh, poor little sad budgie. To be fair, that is a big guess. would have been insane if you find. It's 7 a.m. for you. But yes, now it's time for you to maybe get a bit more sleep if you don't have to go and do things yet. Or if you have to go and do things, well, go and do the things. Tetra! Don't slap yourself. Jeez, why the violence now? It's like you guys are just waking up. To be fair, I am suddenly very awake too. I was very sleepy. And then that last story, and I got so excited. I remembered I do. No. Oh, I'm sorry. You had to go do things. I don't want to go do things neither. But guess what I'm going to do? My dishes. And then watching more of the D&D VODs on YouTube. And uploading my VOD, of course. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. The 13 of you that are here, and whoever watches me ever. You laugh. Ah! What was I? Things? Question mark? I don't know. I don't even know what I said. Oh yes. So, I have uploaded all the VODs from when I was at Vi's place. That took a while to do because I was slow to do things. Yeah. And then also, I uploaded the how to do an origami lotus. How to make an origami lotus is up if you want to do those. And I'm planning to, probably what I'll do on this week's Wednesday is a little bit of recording more how-to videos for the origami because I already have all the origami stuff set up for this week because I'm doing it. And yeah, record a couple more of those and slowly get around to editing them as I have done last time. So the rest of my normal, in quotes, origami things, they could be done in a matter of question mark time if I motivate myself to do that. But I'm excited to get those done for you guys to check out, or anybody that wants to learn origami. That's up on YouTube. So that'll be fun if you want to check that out. And yeah, if you do go check out my YouTube channel, please give it some love, some likes. If you think that the origami how-tos are helpful, show some love. To send them out. I don't know. If that's not your thing, that's perfectly fine. And I typically, I doubt the people that randomly show up to a how-to with origami want to stick around for unhinged ASMR story readings. But if they do, if they like that, then I'm here too. Yeah. Okay. Now, Fet, where the heck are we going? I'm gonna go follow right now. You didn't subscribe already? It's all good, budgie. Yeah, if you don't catch silver spoons today? Okay, deal. If you don't catch a stream, I upload them on YouTube every time, unless it is something that is something I maybe shouldn't have done in the first place. Basically. So yeah, I make sure that they're all up on YouTube. You don't have to have subscription, or you don't have to have a sub on Twitch to be able to see my VODs. It's just that you might have to watch them a little bit later with YouTube, like something with Vice, because it took me a couple weeks to actually get them up because I was being distracted bones in the fact that I filmed it there and then I did it here, and usually I upload right away, and I got mixed up. Anyway, okay. So here's our Cozy Frog raid messages. Let's copy those. And I'll say, because I noticed the last couple times people trying to message when I've already hit the raid button. Usually by the time we're at the I'm raiding spot, I'm not paying very good attention to the chat just because of the way that the stuff is, but I can see it better now than I saw it while I was at Vise. But yeah, thank you for the wave. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you, everybody that's getting cozy in again. Okay. Hello? Are you responding? Thank you. No? Please respond. Please let me type into search. Okay, there we go. Bending. Silver spoons. Raven, take some nuggies. I don't need your nuggies. I don't take your food. I don't steal your food. I'm good. Okay. We're gonna read into Bending Silver Spoons, so prep your messages. I've hit the first little button. Hey. It's doing the thing again where it's being weird. Let me type a message, you weird little thing. Hello? 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 I'm guessing I'm gonna have to say it. Looks like it worked just now. What worked just now? Oh yeah, we're ready to go. I mean, the chat thing isn't working. But okay. Anyway, yes, thank you for watching. Eat well or have a good day. Whenever, whatever. Happy time zone, whatever time zone you're in. Alright, bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Let's go. We're rating. We're rating. We're rating. Stop streaming. Stop streaming. Stop streaming.